News out of the GOP. More than 100 Republicans have now urged the RNC to drop Donald Trump.
I've urged them to drop him too.
This is an open letter calling on the RNC to cut their ties with Donald Trump and shift precious resources away from a struggling presidential campaign to focus on retaining the House and Senate. Now, honestly, you know, they've dug a pretty deep ditch with the Donald at this point, but this is not a bad strategy.
So what do you think? I heard this, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but a friend of mine said...
I like a good conspiracy theory.
I mean, obviously, the Clintons, I'm going to vote for Hillary, but, like, the Clintons were at Donald Trump's wedding. Like, Donald and Bill golfed together. Yeah. They've been known to golf together. What if this was all like a setup to make sure Hillary Clinton's guaranteed the presidency? And so
I don't know. He's doing too good of a job at a fake presidential run.
I mean, like, I think, like, you know, he's like, oh, run in the primary and just create. I think what ended up, I mean, what could be, and like, this is all fantasy and conspiracy theory, but what could be is they said run in the primary to just delay it and, you know, scruffle it up so we can get Ted Cruz because we don't want Marco Rubio because the Clinton camp was definitely afraid of Marco Rubio. So he got in the primary and he actually started winning, and they were like, and he's like, I'm winning.
Well, in this story, in this hypothetical story, 100% what happened is Donald Trump got a taste of it and realized he could win, and then went off the reservation and was like, oh, never mind, I'm running against you for real now.
Yeah, that could have, I mean, I don't know. This is all, I don't think, this is all a conspiracy theory.
That's what happened in the conspiracy theory.
But, I mean, because there's just no, I mean, the reason why you have to subject yourself to conspiracy theories is because you just, like, there's no other, like, I just cannot think of, I can't fathom a reason as to why somebody would say some of the things that he says. Like, I just can't fathom.
Other than to help him. Well,
like, how do you say, listen. I have a problem with this judge because he's Mexican and I'm trying to build a wall? Or how do you say, oh, that baby's crying. It's okay. No, actually, get out. Like, or how do you say... I just don't know how to, like, you go out, you say, you know, and Mexicans are rapists, they lie, they steal, they cheat. Like, I just don't know how you say all these things as a member of the public, right? And just think it's like, oh, it's okay. Another day in the life.
Yeah. So there are a couple things. One, I think some of the things that Donald Trump said actually resonate with a group of people.
I get that
and
part.
They activate them. So the reason that you might say it is because you're trying to activate
I believe in, you know me, I believe in activating conscious, unconscious, subconscious audiences. Yet still, I find it problematic. Like, I just don't.
Oh, I get it. But honestly, I think the other answer is, like, Donald Trump has some kind of, like, borderline personality disorder, or, like, some undiagnosed, like, you know, I don't know what the word is. Not is it a sociopath?
Like a megalomaniac?
Yeah. I mean, it is possible.
Extreme narcissism?
I mean, because I think that if you had a psychologist look at Donald Trump, and I'm sure there are articles that have already been written.
Well, you know, Dr. Drew,
CNN's
resident psychologist, says that Donald Trump is not mentally ill.
Really? Okay. Well,
Dr. Drew.
Interesting. That's interesting.
I mean, he's no Sanjay Gupta.
Well, yeah.
Sanjay
what would Sanjay say?
The leading expert in all things medicine.
Where did you get that from?
I was pulling your...
From his bio?
It's funny, though. It is very funny that, like, how these TV doctors, and I'm on TV, so I can't really say too much, right? But, like, all these relative networks have their TV doctors, and anytime there's a medical emergency, it's, like, the same doctor, and he's the expert on this one thing.
On everything.
And then,
well,
like,
he just
if you know
Googled
anything
it before he went on air.
And if you know anything about medicine, you know that expertises are actually... And the doctors are very specific about, like, I mean, I love my doctor. I love my primary care physician. But he's very specific, like, oh, no, I don't do that. You need to see, you know, a specialist.
That's the sign of a good doctor. Because the thing that scares me when you go into the doctor's office is when, like, they feel like they need to know everything, and then you can end up getting some really bad, you know, medical information.
No, my doctor's data-driven, unlike the Republican Party.
That's what you want. Yeah. Okay, so what were we talking about anyway? 100 Republicans are urging the RNC to drop Donald Trump. If the polls continue as they are, and, you know, we are seeing that it's unlikely, I'm not going to say highly, but it's unlikely that Donald Trump will win the general election, it may be wise to shift the RNC resources into retaining some Senate and House seats.
They make a good point. I mean, they make a good point. I think what they're saying is that Donald Trump most likely will not win the presidency, and spending money on his campaign is a waste, especially because the Trump campaign, they're not putting people on the ground. Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
don't know what they're doing.
Hillary Clinton has 300 people in Pennsylvania to Donald Trump's 20 staffers.
Well, what is disturbing about that is how close it still is with the amount of resources that the Hillary
Which tells you
campaign is
that, I mean,
spending.
which tells you that a lot of people aren't feeling Hillary,
Yeah.
which we already knew, right? And it also tells you that Trump is appealing to these people who, I mean, they're backwoods.
I mean, there are people that it literally, like Donald Trump said it himself, he could go walk into the street and shoot someone in the middle of
they
Times
tweet me.
Square, and they
These
would
are the
still
people
vote
that
for
like.
him.
These are the people that tweet me. Like, I mean, let's just. I mean, you'd be surprised how much hate tweet we get here at the Fowler Show.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
see.
I have a whole folder of hate emails.
We'll read the most recent
Most
one.
recent hate tweet.
Because they're all funny, and they just say the crazy things. These are all these really crazy Donald Trump supporters. Here we go. Vicky Reid at Vicky Reid NVA says wrong. She responded to a tweet that I had, and she said a lifelong liar, corruption, irresponsible behavior, prone Hillary, unfit for any government position. And they just talk about how great Donald Trump is. Like they just go in on.
Yeah, they like Donald Trump.
One person. This is Mike122160 says, so tired of this phrase acting presidential. Ask anyone you want.
Just act any way you want.
Act any way you want, excuse me. Act any way you want, just get the job done and Trump can do it. So whoever these people are, they have eagles as their backdrops, like, you know, they have American flags as their backdrops. Like they're so American that they're anti-American.
Yep, well, there you have it, folks. All right, let us know
on.
what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe. Moving on to the next story. All right, here we go. Talking about third-party candidates, this is in fact relevant if your name is Donald Trump. Right now, we have a couple third-party candidates that are, you know, making a little bit of a splash. Okay, for the Green Party, you have Jill Stein, and for the Libertarian Party, you have Gary Johnson. Now, they are actually garnering more of a significant impact than your usual third-party candidate does in the presidential election, especially Gary Johnson.
Who's at 15%? Well, last poll had him 15 points. Right?
I saw him at 10. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 15 now.
If he gets to 15, America, now here's the rule. If he gets to 15, he gets a seat at
the debate.
At the debate.
Right. We are going to see the Republican and Democratic Party do everything in their power to not allow third-party candidates
at the debate. Because I guarantee you this: if Gary Johnson ends up at the debate, it's no question what will happen. I mean, it could mean a lot of things. I mean, it could mean a Hillary win because he'll sap votes from Trump, the moderate people. But it could also mean
his platform to a moderate Republican is infinitely more attractive
than Donald Trump
or Hillary.
But what he could also do is sap those reasonable Republicans that will most likely vote for Hillary Clinton.
For Hillary.
Like,
yeah.
I'm thinking, and I know the person I'm thinking about is somebody like Rich's father, who's a Republican.
Yeah, you never know.
Who's probably won't vote for Donald Trump. I don't know if Dick Sr.
I don't know either.
Donald Trump. But I doubt he votes for Donald Trump.
Yeah, you know,
He's
the
sensible.
moderate Republican.
I think your dad's very sensible. He's a smart guy.
I would certainly say so. And
so
that's a dying breed in the Republican Party.
And I said, I don't see him voting for Donald Trump. So I think he goes to the polls, and if Gary Johnson's at the debate and he makes a case for yourself, like you see your father saying, well, I know I'm throwing my vote away, but at least I'm voting on principle.
Sure. I mean, and Gary Johnson is generally pretty socially progressive, which in this day and age is something that is very appealing.
Socially progressive.
Exactly. So Gary Johnson is going to be an interesting wild card. And the fact that if somehow he ended up in the debate, we could be in a situation where the Republican Party may be fractured, and two-party, as we know it, it could be like the first step, because nothing ever happens fast in politics.
No, I mean,
right?
I do
but
think
the second it happens and there's a little crack, things start to shift.
I don't think America, and I'm being real with you, is far away from a three-party system. I don't think we're far away. I mean, think about it. You have three independents now in the United States Senate. Mm-hmm. You have three or four in the House.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not a scholar of world history. Richard probably knows more about this. How does a country like, Great Britain end up in the situation that they're in?
Well, that's because of the parliamentary system.
Right, which is, you would argue, is better than what
No,
we do?
I don't know if the parliamentary system. I think the parliamentary system is very complicated, but people think our system's complicated.
Well, guess what? In America, it doesn't matter how complicated or non-complicated it is because no one cares.
It's great.